People who listen to metal are commonly referred to as metalheads or headbangers. They are violent, aggressive, hate-filled loners, and even have a propensity to misuse drugs and alcohol. However, the mental health aspect of listening to metal has wonderful benefits. To understand the relationship between mental health and metal music, we need to look at the issue of why people think metal music is bad for one's mental health. Next, I will show you the flaws in our society that allow this perception to take place. And lastly, I will share a few solutions that must be enacted to decrease the negative stigma of listening to metal music, which serves as an emotional regulatory tool to so many people. Metal is characterized as having lyrical themes of anxiety, depression, social isolation, and loneliness. But did you know that metal isn't always about these dark and depressing themes? The academic article Considering Genre and Metal Music, published in 2020, argues that there are metal songs that are cathartic and empowering with messages about love, hope, and heroism. The truth is, metal does tend to go towards the extremes, but not all metal music is fast, heavy, or aggressive. Here's an example of a song called Storm by Esa Halapainen. So that was an example of metal, and as you can see, it doesn't always have to sound angry and depressing. That actually sounded pretty uplifting and powerful. The academic article, The Experiences of Metal Fans with Mental and Developmental Disorders in the Metal Music Community, published by Coventry University in 2019, metal gets little representation in media, and when it is portrayed in the media, it's portrayed in a negative light. This is because it is viewed by so many to be a genre that promotes delinquent and aggressive behavior. But as a result, those who get into metal music get stigmatized unfairly as having poor mental health issues. The academic article, Becoming Metal: Narrative Reflections on the Early Formation and Embodiment of Heavy Metal Identities, published in 2017 by the Journal of Youth Studies, a boy named Jake reflects on his high school experiences. And he states that he would have been most likely voted to come into school with a gun and shoot everyone because he listened to metal. And people found metal intimidating. After all, he did wear dead corpses on his shirts. But this is a prime example of how people can stigmatize someone who listens to metal as someone who is a ticking time bomb or has a mental illness. Some of the flaws in our society that allow this perception to take place are our distorted views and attitudes towards metal, depicted in mainstream media such as film, television, the news. News reports falsely claim that the killers of the 1999 Columbine High School massacre were wearing Marilyn Manson t-shirts, who is best known for his brand of shock rock. The false association with metal music and mass school shootings quickly swept through the American consensus that listening to metal causes one to participate in violence and murder. As High Spirits, Heavy Metal and Mental Health, published in the Lancet Psychiatry in February 2021, argues, metal's lyrics are very open to exploring the dark, depraved, and unpleasant aspects of human nature. To casual listeners, this can be potentially harmful, thus creating this distorted perception that this music only belongs to people with mental illness, which could not be further from the truth. Because metal explores these difficult subjects that affect our lives, metal can be an essential tool for maintaining and improving mental health to its millions of fans worldwide, and seems to have a cathartic effect. In a 2015 study published in an academic article, Extreme Metal Music and Anger Processing, 39 metal listeners who were 18 to 34 years old were provoked into an emotional state of anger, followed by 10 minutes of either listening to metal on their playlist or 10 minutes of silence. The results indicated that extreme metal music did not make angry participants angrier, but rather increased positive emotions, decreasing feelings of hostility, irritability, and stress. The study showed that listening to extreme metal music has been found to be a positive outlet to process these intense emotions for these listeners. According to the academic article, High Spirits, Heavy Metal, and Mental Health, if metal listeners were experiencing fired up emotions of anger and the music they listen to is high tempo, it can match how they're feeling and help them regulate that emotion. Now, let's look at what can be done to solve this problem and help normalize metal music and mental health topics. One solution we can implement is to have schools work with third-party organizations to include metal music in the curriculum, to learn about the history of metal so that it is not seen as taboo, thus normalizing metal music and stopping the portrayal of it being seen in a negative light. The second solution is to raise awareness to parents that if their child likes metal music, it is not an indication of a potential mental health problem. Educators, social workers, and clinical psychologists need to educate their parents about the health benefits of listening to metal music and not deem it as something that will cause violence, aggression, or school shootings. One step you can take to raise awareness is to check out the Heavy Metal Therapy website. This is an online resource founded by psychologist Kay Quinn. And it is a place where people share their experiences of how metal has helped them overcome mental health issues. Share their details with others who relate to the lyrical content of metal and follow them. The academic article, The Experiences of Metal Fans with Mental and Developmental Disorders, states that music intervention programs should be developed for more metal music listeners as they make up a large part of the global population that are emotionally vulnerable and have a high rate of mental health issues. So the second step you can take is to contact the American Music Association to incorporate metal music into these music intervention therapy programs. This can be done by going to www.musictherapy.org or by clicking the contact bar. Lastly, you can listen to the music yourself and see for yourself. Does it cause you any kind of pain, anger, or sadness? Or is it cathartic and empowering? If it is, spread the word to your friends and family to get them to listen to it. We need to normalize this genre of music and not put this judgmental or skeptical label on it. If you are one of these metalheads or headbangers, you are already reaping the mental health benefits of listening to this genre. There's a lot of negative stigma when it comes to listening to metal music, but this type of music is a form of emotional release and continues to be a therapeutic form of support for millions of fans worldwide.